When you're young, you don't always understand what is shaping you. You move through life collecting moments, not knowing which ones you're going to carry with you. Certain sounds, certain images, a feeling you don't have words for yet. At the time, it feels ordinary, almost forgettable. But later you realize that some moments weren't passing through you, they were settling in. They were teaching you how to see the world. For me, one of those moments came through film. I didn't watch it knowing that it would matter later on in my life. I also didn't watch it to search for answers. I literally just watched it so that I can spend time with my family. I just remember sitting there. It wasn't about the story alone. It wasn't even about the characters. It was about recognition, about seeing something familiar. And years later, I realized that that moment will help me to understand where I'm from. You see, I didn't grow up surrounded by images of where I was from. I grew up in Ireland, classrooms, grey skies, and many times I was the only black kid in the room. It wasn't always uncomfortable, but it was noticeable. You become aware of yourself early when you grow up like that. You notice how people see you and how little they see you. But at home, my parents made sure of something. They made sure I knew who I was. They spoke about Congo with pride, not as a place to explain away, but as a place to carry with me. They made me understand that being Congolese was something to be proud of, even before I had images to attach to it. Because the truth is, I haven't been to Congo yet. Most of what I knew about Congo growing up came from stories, from conversations, and from memories that were passed down from my parents. And maybe that's why the first time I saw it on film meant so much. I remember watching the documentary When We Were Kings and realizing something quietly. This wasn't just footage, it was movement, it was music. For the first time, the place that I heard about my whole life had faces, had rhythm, had atmosphere. The film tells the story of the Rumble in the Jungle, a boxing match in 1974 between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman in Kinshasa. On paper, it's a sporting event, but the fight isn't what stayed with me. But what stayed with me were the streets, the crowds, and the energy in the air. For a moment, the world wasn't looking past Africa, and what I saw was pride, life, and confidence. Seeing Congo that way really mattered to me, because I didn't grow up seeing that very often. When you rarely see where you're from treated with dignity on screen, those images stay with you. As I started to get older and started to make films for myself, I began to understand why that documentary stayed with me. It wasn't just what it showed, it was how it observed. This is why I'm drawn to films that show pride and strength in people and places that aren't always shown that way. Films like The Woman King resonate with me for that very reason. Not because they're perfect, but because they allow dignity to exist on screen, and dignity matters. People sometimes say films are just entertainment, but I don't believe that, because a film can change how you see a place. It can change how you see certain types of people. A film can change how you see yourself. One film showed me a place where I haven't even been to yet, and still made it seem familiar. And that's the power of film. It preserves moments, it preserves identity. I don't know exactly what type of films I'll make in the future, but I do know how I want them to feel. I want someone to watch them and feel grounded in who they are, the way I felt watching that film. Because sometimes seeing where you're from before you've even been there is enough to remind you that you belong somewhere.